Chicago Fire and Chicago PD Finals. Showrunners preview Severide's storyline with Pascal and Voight's war with Reid. We've come to the end of another broadcast season, with the One Chicago Finals premiering Wednesday, May 21 on NBC. The night kicks off with Chicago Med at 8 p.m. ET and is followed by Chicago Fire and Chicago PD. However, Fire is set to undergo some major changes in Season 14. Daniel Keary and Jake Lockett, who play Darren Ritter and Sam Carter, will not be returning as series regulars. The news came as a surprise to fans, given the important role they play within the main cast. Meanwhile, Chicago PD Season 12 has seen Voight at war with Reid, amid his own internal battle. It's up to fans to decide if the characters are truly all that different, but it's a question the series has posed in recent episodes. Their storyline comes to a head in Vows, and there's no doubt that the fallout will continue into next season. Coinciding with its title, the finale also features the long-awaited wedding between Burgess and Ruzek, but current events threaten to disrupt the festivities. Ahead of the finals, I caught up with Chicago Fire showrunner Andra Newman and Chicago PD showrunner Gwen Sagan about what to expect in the last installment of the seasons. I have to ask the obvious question. We know that Ritter and Carver are exiting. Will their departures fit into the finale? How far is Severide willing to go to prove that Pascal did not attempt to kill Franklin? If Herman passes the Chief's test, that poses an interesting problem. Is there only room for either him or Pascal at Firehouse 51? Will we get any developments in Severide and Kid's baby journey in the finale? What else do fans have to look forward to in the Chicago Fire finale? Screen Rant: Burgess had her badge taken away a week before her wedding. Could there be any trepidation about, is now the right time to get married? A huge question this season has been, is Voight just like Reid? Will the finale continue asking that and maybe sway viewers in one way or the other? With that being such a major plot point throughout this season, will we see a definitive conclusion to it in the finale? There's been a potential romance lingering between Voight and Chapman. Will either the finale or next season revisit that plotline? As the finals for Chicago Fire and Chicago PD blaze onto screens, fans should buckle up. The Windy City is about to erupt in chaos, confrontation, and a few long-awaited reckonings. Showrunners Derek Hawes, Fire, and Gwen Sagan, PD, gave us an exclusive peek at what's in store for Lieutenant Kelly Severide and Sergeant Hank Voight as they each stand on the edge of personal and professional warfare. Severid's Fire as Storm, Pascal's Shadow. When Chicago Fire returned from hiatus earlier this season, fans were surprised by a new face hovering around Squad 3. Special Agent Elena Pascal, played with icy precision by guest star Sarah Shavi. Introduced during Severide's temporary assignment with the Office of Fire Investigation, OFI, Pascal wasn't just another pencil pusher. She was firewalking trouble in a designer blazer. Now, as the finale approaches, Haas teases that Pascal will push Severide to his breaking point, and possibly past it. Severide is a guy who sees through most people. But with Pascal, there's a danger that he doesn't want to see her clearly, Haas reveals. She represents something that tempts him: control, mastery over chaos, but through very different methods. Pascal's latest investigation into a string of suspicious arsons linked to firefighter misconduct puts her on a collision course with 51. And when Severide finds himself caught between his loyalty to his house and Pascal's demand for results, the fallout is explosive. We're going to see Severide make a choice that could alienate people he loves, Haas adds. There's an act of betrayal coming, not because he wants to hurt anyone, but because he thinks he's doing the right thing. Expect fireworks between Severide and Stella Kid, too. She's always been his moral compass, says Haas. But even compasses spin when they're near a magnet like Pascal. The finale's final moments, Haas hints, will take Severide far from Firehouse 51, and closer to a line he may not be able to uncross. Voigtvs. Reid. A CHICAGO war begins. Over on Chicago PD, the streets are simmering, and Sergeant Hank Voight is done playing by anyone's rules but his own. The target, Deputy Superintendent Gregory Reid, played by Dylan McDermott, who has spent the back half of the season quietly cutting Voight's authority, transferring intelligence officers, and backing politically convenient narratives. Voight sees Reid as more than a bureaucrat. He sees him as a threat to the entire mission of intelligence, says showrunner Gwen Segan. And in the finale, Voight decides it's time to strike first. Voight's team has been unraveling a major case tied to a fentanyl ring that's decimating communities, and all signs point back to someone inside CPD protecting the source. Voight gets close, says Segan. Too close, and Reid realizes it. What follows is a game of chess soaked in gasoline. Voight uses his old-school connections, informants, ex-cops, even a reluctant Trudy Platt, to expose a conspiracy reaching into City Hall. Reid, meanwhile, pulls in internal affairs and puts Voight's team under a microscope. No badge is safe, warns Segan. By the end of the episode, you won't know who's getting suspended, arrested, or possibly killed. And yes, there is a cliffhanger. Segan confirms that one member of intelligence will go dark, literally. You'll see a team member vanish under suspicious circumstances. Voight thinks Reid is behind it, and that's the fuse that lights the war. Crossover stays. Could the Fire and PD finals be more intertwined than fans expect? Both Haas and Segan coyly suggest there's overlap. Let's just say a certain arson case on Fire might burn into PD territory, Haas hints. And Severide and Voight share a scene that changes everything. Fans can expect a moment where Severide and Voight, two alpha dogs used to leading, clash over strategy, justice, and what it means to protect their city. Voight sees Severide as someone who still believes in the system, Segan adds. But Severide may surprise him. Final word is from DESHOWRUNEURS. The finals are explosive, but both Haas and Segan want fans to know that these storylines are far from over. We're setting the stage for next season, Haas says. Severide's about to step into a world where there are no clean fires, no clean rescues. Just hard choices. Voight's war with Reid isn't just about politics, adds Segan. It's about who controls the future of the CPD, and whether anyone like Voight still belongs in it. When the smoke clears, both Severide and Voight may find themselves changed forever. Or worse, left behind by the city they've bled for. Chicago Fire and Chicago PD finals air back-to-back on NBC Wednesday night. Grab your helmet and your badge. This ride's about to get rough.